Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a look at this Dirk Nowitzki build that I have been using in competitive Pro-Am on NBA 2K24. And for the best shooting big man of all time, I had to make the best shooting big man build that you could possibly make in this game. But with all that out of the way, man, let's get started with today's video. Let's go. But before we get started with today's video, gentlemen, it is the holiday season, and there's no better gift to give to basketball fans than a jersey, which you can buy at pristinejerseys.com. Link is going to be down in the description. Now, one thing before we get started with the actual build I'm going to be showing you guys today, here's another version of a Dirk Nowitzki build that you guys can make. Obviously, my version of the build is going to be totally different based off of our team's playstyle and the needs that I need to fit on my team. If you were coming to this video for a more well-rounded Dirk Nowitzki build, that is going to be this one right here. All right, so now showing off the build that I'm going to be using. I ended up making at the center position just to make icons easier for my team. Height of the build is going to be 7 foot, weight 250 pounds with a 7-foot wingspan. All right, so starting off with my version of the build, we're going to have a 64 close shot and 80 driving layup, which is going to get you Pro Touch on Hall of Fame as well as Slithery on Silver. And when you have starter 3 like me, you can also use the Domantas Sabonis layup package, which is absolutely insane in this year's game. But if you do not have starter 3, you can also use the Nikola Jokic layup style, which has some very amazing floaters in that package. For the driving dunk and standing dunk, we both went with just a 65. That's the lowest we could put with the vertical that we ended up putting on this build, which you'll see later on in the vid. We did not want to put high driving or standing dunk because I'm not going to be getting to the rim a whole lot on this build because we're going to be playing with a pure inside. I don't even think I need to say who that is. I think you guys all know who that is by now, but in case if you don't know, it's Laker fans. So moving on to the post control, we're going to have a 90, which is going to get you post spin technician and dream shake on Hall of Fame. You're also going to have post fade phenom on Hall of Fame. Pretty much every single important post scoring badge for a Dirk Nowitzki type of build on Hall of Fame on this build. I'm not going to lie to you guys, offensively this build is very solid, especially when driving to the rim when using your floater abilities. Look at this, I'm hitting red contested layups on this build consistently when driving to the rim and going for floaters. Look at this again right here, contested floater, it's going in without any issue. Now you're going to be dominant out of the post on this build as well. Look at this, they put the guard on me in the corner. I ain't no cone on offense. You can't just put the guard on me and expect nothing to happen. And now they start putting somebody bigger on me in the corner. That's no problem. We're gonna hit him with the shimmy, get him jumping, hit him with the post hop shot, and it's still going in. All right, so now moving on to the shooting, we're going to have a 94 mid-range shot as well as an 86 three-point shot on this build. Now, you guys are probably wondering, Joey, what in the world do you get with a 94 midi? Absolutely nothing. But I didn't really have anywhere else to put those attribute points except for shooting, so I just ended up maxing out my midi and my 3, even though I don't get any badges with it. I just said, screw it, why not? But if you do want to lower it, you can go to 93, get catch and shoot on Hall of Fame. You're still going to get midi magician on Hall of Fame as well, blinders and deadeye on gold, corner specialist on gold, claymore on gold. You're just going to get a lot of really good badges. Then you could also drop the 3-point shot down to an 85 just so you can only get limitless range on bronze, because since you're 7 foot, you cannot get agent 3s with that 86 rating anyways. Now when it comes to the shooting on this build, that is where you're going to get your money's worth when it comes to this build. Having a 7-foot stretch big with elite shooting in both the mid-range and the 3-point area is just going to create some absolute mismatches on the offensive end. Then off of the offensive rebound, since I usually have a big on me, I'm always the first person we go to for second chance points, because I'm either going to be wide open for a catch and shoot, or I'm going to be able to get open off of the dribble because they are trying to close out late. Now with this build, you're going to be an elite spot up because you're going to have catch and shoot on Hall of Fame, claymore, corner specialist on gold. So honestly, on this build, I'm shooting around 60%, 65% from 3, and I've only been using this build for about 2 days. Obviously, I have my lethal zones in the spots where I spot up the most often, but again, you're going to be an insane shooter. Now you're going to have some pretty insane shot creating abilities on this build as well. You're going to be able to create shots out of the post and off of the dribble in the mid-range area since you have that 94 mid-range shot. And since I'm a starter 3, I also have the Kevin Durant dribble pull-up, which is by far one of the most uncontestable pull-ups in this game. But I'll show you guys a couple of those clips in just a moment. All right, so right here, take a look at this. They try to play up on Laker. I thought he was going to be able to close out in time, so I didn't take the shot. But right here, we're going to take him off the dribble, hit him with that KD fade. It's just wide open, man. He didn't really play that one super well, but again, there's going to be some better versions later on where it looks like the shot should be contested, but it is not because of that KD fade. But look at this right here, man. Open in the corner, pump fake, get him jumping, take a couple dribbles into the pull-up. That's going in, baby. I'm telling you, you're going to be such an elite shooter on this build. It is not even funny. Now, this last sequence of clips is all going to be from one game, and you're just going to see how I'm able to kill this team off the dribble, out at the 3-point line. You just cannot leave me open, and you got to be able to put a good defender on me too, because this team had a 7'1" center on me, and he could just not keep up with me off of the dribble. We were just getting to a lot of dribble pull-ups, a lot of midi fades. By the time that I was playing in this game, I already had midi magician on Hall of Fame, so we were really just attacking attacking this team off of the dribble and forcing them to either put a good defender on me or face the consequences of putting a slow defender on me, which is what they ended up choosing. Now, this last clip right here, we got Sharp Take out the corner. We're going to run out to the wing, hit a fadeaway three with two people on top of me, man, and it's open. It goes in without any issue. Now, here's the jump shot I was using throughout a majority of the later half of the shooting highlights. It's going to be base Kevin Durant, upper release 1 Kevin Durant, release 2 Dirk Nowitzki. Heavily favored towards Dirk Nowitzki, 98-2. It's going to have an A+ defensive immunity, which is going to help you so much out of the dribble, out of the post. And the B+ release speed is actually a lot faster than some people will think, as long as you like understand the closeout system in this game. All right, so now for the playmaking, we're going to have a 92 pass accuracy on this build so we can get break starter on Hall of Fame, as well as a 69 ball handle so we can get handles for days on bronze. We're actually going to get a bunch of decent dribble animations on this build, which you will see later on in the vid. Then a 55 speed with ball, just so we can make sure we unlock big driver on gold. Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering why I have a 92 pass accuracy on a Dirk Nowitzki build. You guys are probably looking at this build now and saying, oh, this isn't a Dirk build, this is a Nikola Jokic build, this is a Domantas Sabonis. And I just need you guys to understand that in competitive Pro-Am, I'm not going to use any pass accuracy lower than 92. I need that half break starter. I need velocity in my passes when I'm playing competitive 5v5. I'm not going any lower than 92. Maybe I'll go 86. But regardless, even if I went 86, you guys wouldn't want me to call this a Dirk build regardless. So I just need you guys to understand that although this is not a perfect one-to-one Dirk Nowitzki build, which I have mentioned previously in this video already, if I want to make a viable build for competitive Pro-Am, I need at least a 92 pass ac. But now let's talk about the actual playmaking capabilities of this build. Man, listen, that 92 pass accuracy is pretty freaking nice. You can run the secondary break, you could hit people on give and goes, you can make cross-court passes and have them go in on a dime before the defense can rotate over there. Having high pass accuracy is going to especially help you out of the post. It's going to allow you to dot rotations before they can actually fully happen. It's going to help you dot 2-on-1s and allow a person to actually get off a shot before somebody can close out, just like this right here. Again, man, overall it's just going to be really good. Now, here are all of the animations that I am using on this build. As you can see, pass style, Tyrese Halliburton. You can see all of the dribble animations that you actually do get on this build. Some of these guys you cannot get access to just yet, because I have hit starter 3, so I do get a bunch of animations that other players do not have just yet, which include Giannis Antetokounmpo escape moves. All right, so now moving on to the defense for this build, we're going to have a 61 interior defense, a 65 perimeter defense, a 78 block to get bronze anchor as well as silver chase down artist, and then a 93 defensive rebound for Hall of Fame box out beast as well as gold rebound chaser. Now, as you guys can see, we did not upgrade the offensive rebound at all. You could probably understand why, as you saw in the clips earlier. A lot of the times I usually just stay spotted up out at the corner, and if Laker ends up getting the offensive rebound, he's usually kicking it out to me for an easy second chance catch and shoot 3, which is usually where I would prefer to play in this type of offense instead of just crashing rebounds, because 1, I think this build is too slow to get down there, and 2, I'm not going to have a high enough offensive rebound eventually anyways, even if I do make some adjustments to this build to where I can actually crash and get boards. Now, I don't have a crazy amount of defensive highlights on this build, but you're definitely going to be able to get stops on this build, especially if you're coming down on rotations. You're going to be able to get stops. Look at this, hands up D. We're getting a 100% smothered in the paint. I'm telling you, you're going to be able to play D, even though you only have a 61 interior, bronze anchor. That's actually surprisingly more than enough in this year's game to get stops and blocks as well. All right, and now you can see the build fully maxed out on one thing. One thing that I do want to point out is that we do have a 90 strength on this build for the Hall of Fame box out piece, like we mentioned, and the gold immovable enforcer. And then we're also going to have an 80 vertical, which is why our driving dunk and standing dunk are so high. The 80 vertical is just going to help us get more rebounds and more blocks. And as we're coming out of the My Player builder, we're going to get the comparisons of Domantas Sabonis, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid. And we're going to get the build name Diming 3-level threat. If you guys could have even imagined that the build name would have been anything else, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyways. But that's going to be it for today's video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed them out. Peace.